Training okay this morning then, Neil?
Yeah, boys looking, well, as you'd imagine with the way we're playing or the previous results, they're bubbling away nicely. You know, we're not taking anything for granted. We know we're playing a team here banging for themselves. Another very, very important game and another very, very difficult game.
The game at Rugby Park earlier in the season, you won by 3-0. It was an incredible game, there wasn't. There was so many chances for both sides. And I've never seen a team being beat 3-0 at home and being applauded off the pitch by their own fans.
I think that was the start of the feel-good factor regarding Steve as well. They did play very well. It could have been 5-3. You know, that wouldn't have been. I think we deserved to win the game, but I think 3-0 flattered us. But we played very, very well attacking-wise. You know, Offie made a couple of great saves, and I think Boydie made a hit the post or hit the crossbar with a header. So it was a very entertaining game, and I think Steve was quietly, despite the result, quite pleased with the performance that he got out, and obviously they've really kicked on since then. We had a very tough game against them at Easter Road, where they scored early, and we tended to dominate the majority of the game, but found it difficult to break them down, and I think that's been key to Kilmarnock's success. You know, it's built on a very solid foundation.
What has Steve done to the club? Because it's the same players who were there, Neil, at the start of the season. But is it just giving them belief? You know, what can you do to a squad just to turn it around so much in such a short period of time?
I didn't think I thought they were a decent group of players. I thought Lee McCulloch actually did a very good job last season, you know, in his first job. And obviously they couldn't get the win at home. Now they're formidable at home. And that's just a little bit of psychology, and it's also the effect that Steve's had in terms of, you know, the confidence that he's brought not only to the players but to the club, and a bit of pride, a lot of pride back in Kilmarnock as well. And of course he's tactically very, very good. You know, he's a very unassuming guy, but you know, one of the best managers around at this level for sure.
Is he a contender for manager of the season the way he's turned it around?
Well, yeah, I mean you'd have to think so, yeah. I mean, there's plenty. Stephen Robinson for me is another one who's done, you know, amazing. And then you've got the usual contenders, you know, Brendan, Derek, so myself, obviously. I was being quite coy there. No, but Steve would definitely be up there. There's no question of that.
What about the targets, Neil? I know when at the start of the season you said, yeah, it was a championship club just been promoted. But you've said previously you've probably exceeded your expectations at the moment. But this race for Europe, second spot, are Hibs really in the mix with that then? Well,
yeah, the table doesn't lie. We're 5 points off second place, so you'd have to realistically say, with what, 10, 11 games to go, that we're in the right shout. If we were sitting second in the league, 5 points behind Celtic, you'd say there's a title race on. So I did say at the start of the season it would be Celtic, then the next group would be Rangers, Aberdeen, and then the rest of us would be all fighting for it, and that's basically the way it's panned out. There's no surprises. Some teams found it difficult to keep the consistency going because of changes, you know, in terms of the financial, you know, selling players, selling the best players at times. Doesn't mean to say the same managers have become bad managers. It just means that they've lost better players and found it, you know, realistically difficult to replace like for like.
What are your thoughts on the prospect of possibly having to go to Ibrox 3 times this year, Neil, and hosting them only once?
I'm not aware of that. I think
after the split, normally what happens when you look at the fixtures?
I saw it today,
yeah.
So it could be us, Hearts, or Kilmarnock, or even Aberdeen. Yeah. I don't know how that works that way.
Because you've just come up, in the eyes of the league, they would have expected the team that comes up to finish in the bottom half of the league, and they haven't looked at Hibs and said, oh Hibs, but that's the way they kind of look at project the fixtures, so right. There's an imbalance, because...
but I think that's been the case over the years.
Yeah, no, it's not the first time it's happened, yeah. I know that, but I just wonder, when you get to...
Well, I wouldn't be too happy about going to Ibrox for the 3rd time. I think we've earned the right, and I think the club has earned the right to have another game against Rangers at home with a, you know, capacity crowd. I think that's the whole point in getting promoted and, you know, making the top 6 if you can. You know, there's got to be a balance, and I can understand if we were frustrated at it, and other clubs would be frustrated as well.
Do you like the split?
Yes and no. I think you know what's there before the season starts. So ultimately, our first objective, could we make the top 6? I think realistically now we're going to do that. Where we finish, I don't know, but then it becomes very, very exciting. The last 5 games of the season, but it's difficult as well, and it creates an interest at the top of the table, and it creates some interest at the bottom. What it does is prolongs the season, I think. Whereas if there was no split, Celtic could run away with the league, it's over, and somebody could be relegated. 10 points with 3 games to go, it's over. I think it gives everyone a decent crack at it, to be fair. I understand why it's been introduced.
Yeah.
And I think it's been pretty exciting over the years. We've had plenty of last day finishes for the Championship and plenty of last day to avoid relegation, and obviously the playoffs as well.
Going back to the point about Steve Clarke and Kilmarnock, why can a manager make such a big difference to a club, especially when they've got the majority of the players are still the same? You hear managers saying, I'm only as good as the players at my disposal, but he's getting more out of these players for whatever reason. What can a manager do? Why is this the case?
He's got great experience, obviously great knowledge of the game. I think he's someone that the players will respect. I'm not saying they didn't respect Lee, but some of the players maybe need to look at themselves as well and go, we were really underperforming, or I was underperforming, and what he's done is he's come in and given them a lift. I think Alex Dyer needs a mention as well, who's Steve's number 2. Myself and Gary known Alex for a long time. I think he's a very experienced, excellent assistant manager, and the two of them look, they're really enjoying life. It's hard to tell with Stevie sometimes, but yeah, he looks really happy in his lot at the minute.
Do you think the pitch is helping them a bit as well?
No. It wasn't happening at the start of the season.
Yeah.
So we can't use that as an excuse if we lose tomorrow. We've gone there and won already. I don't think it's deteriorating any worse than when we played there in October. So I just think it's psychological, and they've got a style of play and an understanding of each other. And to be fair, there's a good balance between defence and attack, and obviously strong midfield as well.
A couple of people saying Dylan McGee deserved a Scotland call-up this week. What do you make of that? Do you think he's ready to represent his country?
Look, I'm always a little bit reluctant to sort of champion players sometimes, but he has been outstanding. I would like him to have a full season and then take stock of things from there, but it looks like he's going to have a full season, and he has been as good as anybody. So if the call comes, it would not surprise me. Is it too soon for him? Probably not, but he hasn't played a lot of football up until this year to warrant the Scotland place. However, this season he's been as good as anybody, and certainly in the Scottish game anyway.
What's the situation with contract?
Well, we have an offer on the table. He's weighing up his options, and he's every right to do that. So again, we may go back to him. But he's quite comfortable with the situation. We're obviously not, but I understand his take on it as well.
Have any clubs been in touch with you
regarding Dylan?
Yeah.
No.
Because he was linked with Aberdeen.
Look, it wouldn't surprise me if he were to leave. I'm not convinced it's the right thing for him to do, but the decision is down to Dylan. I can't, lock him in a cupboard and say, right, you're not leaving until you sign here, as much as I'd like to. What I can do is say, you've had a brilliant season, there's no reason why you can't improve again here. But I'm sure there'll be plenty of suitors for him north and south of the border, and that's something we will have to be wary of.
Similarly with John, of course.
Well, of course,
he's got a year left. But
he's got a year left. Again, I'm surprised we didn't have any bids for him in January, and he's just playing outstandingly well. The two of them have been fantastic all season, really, and they complement each other very well.
Do you think you'll be able to get Scott Allen back in the summer?
I don't know. It's not even something I've given much thought about. Look, 2 games, Brian. We're talking, so
I know.
Let's give it 7 or 8, and then I might be on the phone to Brendan or Peter.
I wasn't at the game last week, but Hibs fans I've been speaking to were raving about him.
He played well.
Last weekend.
He played well. As did 10 others.
Yeah.
He played very, very well. Really pleased with the contribution he's making, and he looks happy.
That seems to be the key to him, Neil, doesn't it?
It shouldn't be. It shouldn't be.
Switch on him though.
No, but a player of that talent, I think the penny looks like it's dropping him. In terms of his intensity, his training and his attitude, it's been faultless. And he's taken that on to the pitch. Now, he's not going to run the game every week, because eventually teams are going to go, we need to stop this guy. So then he has to make a contribution in other areas in the team, and looks like he's quite happy to do that.
Team news?
No changes really. Whittaker's got another week down the line training wise.
What about David Gray? How long?
Dave will be another 3 weeks, minimum. Brandon Barker 2 to 3 weeks. Ross Laidlaw back in April hopefully. But in terms of any fresh injuries from last week, we're fine.
Could Brandon make the derby 2 weeks tomorrow?
It might be just a bit too soon for him. Just might be. But the prognosis was good, because we thought we were looking at 3 months, and it's not. It's a lot shorter than that. So he's delighted about that, because it was a real blow for him. He was playing very, very well. Blow for us as well, obviously. But it'd be good to have him back for the split, no question. And I think we will.
What's the timeline? Sorry, what's the timeline on Whittaker coming back?
Well, he's back training now. AstroTurf pitch probably not a good idea, with the inflammation that he picks up. Maybe fit for next Wednesday, the Hamilton game, or the games after that for sure, because we've got a free weekend after that.